So this Judgment Day story just took a wild turn. If you look at the Judgment Day storyline, since Liv Morgan has come back, she has completely taken over the Judgment Day. Finn Balor is trying to find himself. Dom Mysterio has kind of taken a backdrop to Liv Morgan since the injury. Roxanne, who was looked at as maybe a threat to Liv Morgan at the beginning, is now right under the wing, the mama wing, the mother goose wing of Liv Morgan, and Raquel Rodriguez is looking like Diesel to Liv Morgan's Shawn Michaels. So with Liv Morgan winning the WWE Royal Rumble and going to Mania to face the champ, it leaves a ton of possible matches set up for WrestleMania. One thing to note is that Michael Cole made a point to say that Liv Morgan earned a shot at the champion in the main event of WrestleMania. That certainly implies that there's a strong possibility that we can see Liv Morgan in the main event of Night 1 at WrestleMania. The question is, who will stand across the ring from her? Liv eliminated Raquel Rodriguez during the Royal Rumble, which set up a rift in the Judgment Day. And remember, Raquel Rodriguez was going to be wrestling Stephanie Vaquer at the WWE Raw. That match happened, and she told Liv Morgan, told Liv Morgan to stay out of this. Liv Morgan shows up and interferes in the match, attempting to help Raquel, ended up costing her the match. So we could see a situation where Raquel looks to get revenge on Liv Morgan. I mean, eventually I can see Liv Morgan against Raquel Rodriguez against Roxanne at another PLE where the Judgment Day implode from within. Now, if they're going to go for the Night 1 main event with Liv Morgan, do you go with Stephanie Vaquer? Do you find some way to get Raquel the belt in maybe a rematch with Stephanie Vaquer? Is Rhea Ripley going to be winning the WWE Championship for the women's side by Elimination Chamber? And then is she going to go on to wrestle Liv Morgan? Now, if you ask me, the one big blockbuster women's match that could more than likely main event Night 1, and I stress more than likely because there is another one there, if done right, I look at Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley as that one match. It is blockbuster. It is a story that has been in the making for 4 years. Liv got injured before that opportunity to finish things with Rhea Ripley. Things are still lingering. Rhea Ripley has not won the women's championship since she lost it to Liv Morgan. So this is an opportunity for Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan to end their story, and that is a WrestleMania story. That is a blockbuster box office main event if I have ever heard of one. But the question is how you get there. Stephanie Vaquer against Liv Morgan, for sure, it'll be a great match. It's one of those matches that you can see on Backlash. No offense here, but it's one of those matches you can see on Backlash. It's even a match that you can see happening at SummerSlam. But the story behind that match is not told yet. It is left open. There's not a whole lot of story there. The real story is between Liv Morgan and her implosion of the Judgment Day and tying up that loose end and finishing the story against Rhea Ripley on the granddaddy of them all, right? So the story could be that the iteration of her character, like I'm not sure if it's box office enough for something like main event, but the evolution of the Raquel character can get her into a snap mode. She beats Vaquer and then defends against Liv Morgan. You can go in that direction. Somehow, maybe the championship is on the line at Elimination Chamber. Maybe instead of the women being in the chamber to choose who goes to WrestleMania to face the other champ, the championship title that Liv Morgan doesn't choose, maybe they can go that direction. It seems like that's typically what would happen, right? But what if Stephanie Vaquer defends her championship at Elimination Chamber? And what if one of the participants is Rhea Ripley? And what if she wins at Elimination Chamber? And then Liv challenges Rhea Ripley. Maybe they gas her up. What happens to Stephanie Vaquer? And that's something of note, because I don't know if you put her in a situation where she goes after the tag titles, if she goes after the U.S. Championship, right? If they try to add her and make it a triple threat match. But if you're really going to main event WrestleMania Night 1 and you're looking at Liv Morgan in that challenger position, the only champion that I see currently where there's an actual story, there's actual interest, and people are going to be hook, line, and sinker into seeing how the story plays out, aside from Raquel Rodriguez and potentially Roxanne, well, I'm saying it would be Rhea Ripley. that is the only match that I can see. Now, the other match that I see is Jade Cargill if she were to defend her championship against Bianca Belair, because they themselves also have a good story that has not been tied up and has not been finished. Jade Cargill blames Bianca Belair for a cause of her attitude change when she was attacked brutally by Naomi, who snapped and said that she did it for Bianca Belair. They have never tied up their loose ends because Bianca Belair got a finger injury and has been out for the majority of the year. So when Bianca comes back, she can tie that story up against Jade Cargill. And I'm not saying that this is going to be a 5-star Dave Meltzer classic here, but it definitely tells a story that needs to be tied up that is WrestleMania worthy and box office, and in my opinion could strongly be considered as a night one main event. So I guess it depends on where they're going to go with this. If they're going to go with Liv Morgan and Stephanie Vaquer, that's a great match. That's a match that can headline all the time, but not night one of WrestleMania. And if you're going with Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, in my opinion, personally, I would much rather see Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill headline in that regard. Now, as far as match style and match rating goes, then it's Liv Morgan #1 against Stephanie Vaquer all day long. But if you're going for story, if you're going for the idea of the backdrop between those two and the history between Cargill and Belair, and then you're going to go with Liv Morgan and Vaquer, then it's Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill all day long. So I think the story there is Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. The question is, how do they get there? And I'm very curious as to what they're going to do in that regard and how they're going to get to that spot. Another thing to look out for in this Judgment Day saga is if Dominik Mysterio is going to start to get the eye with Roxanne. Maybe Liv seems to be too bossy. Maybe she's getting a bigger head than something that Dom is even interested in. And maybe he starts getting the gawk eyes from Roxanne. So then that's another way to build that up. Because I know that they were hinting at that at the beginning there. And then because of Liv Morgan's injury, I'm sure they had to pivot and go in a different direction. They can always revisit that. And that can play a factor in Liv fully snapping and then going after her arch nemesis in Rhea Ripley, who wins the title of Elimination Chamber. I think you got a great story there. If you guys like that, let me know down in the comment section. If you have a better idea for who Liv Morgan can challenge at the night one WrestleMania potentially main event, you guys let me know in the comments. Thumbs up on the way out, you guys. And if you like this video and more, go ahead and hit the subscribe and notifications bell so you can always be aware of when I drop from the portal of pro wrestling. This is the Wrestling Old Head, you guys. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next one.